Man, that music gets me pumped. Welcome to Rome Total War 2. DEI with a twist. With a twist. It's not normal DEI. Nope. We're going to make it a little more difficult. Why? Because we know how to play. We know how to play, and I don't like to play this game without some sort of challenge. So what do we add on here? We added on a mod called Realism 1.6, authored by Scipio. Fantastic mod. It drastically changes the entire game. Between the economy to battles to the way diplomatic negotiations go, to splitting up the map and having different smaller factions as opposed to immediately getting to larger single factions. There's just more diversity. So what kind of experience are we going to give you today? I am big on tactics, man. We are going to get into the nitty-gritty of strategy. I'm going to have some basic explanations for specific things, because I'm going into this assuming you've never done realism. And we're going to get into exactly how that changes. But first and foremost, let's pick our faction. We are going Rome. Let me tell you about the factions of Rome. I've never beaten a game on other factions, because this just makes the most sense. Look at this. Increased melee attack during battles against barbarian tribes. They're the biggest pain in the ass, so we want to get rid of that. They can Romanize their area by increasing cultural conversion. That is a huge part of the game. Huge. So it just doesn't make sense to have a diplomatic penalty with all factions. Like, what? No. You're going to be torn to shreds. This version's too difficult. You need to actually engage in diplomacy. So we're going to start here. We're going to have it on normal. We're going to expand our empire. We're going to walk through the first 2 to 3 turns. That way, you know exactly how to set up your start. So we're going to go ahead and begin and skip to the loading screen. See you on the field. Oh yes, this is our empire, mighty Rome. If you're noticing on the field, there's a couple of insignias next to cities. We're going to go over exactly what that means. Basically, we're going to touch upon the intention of your campaign. We don't have to get into all of the technical stuff. But essentially, what do you need to focus on in DEI realism? So we have our objective, ascend to bold undertakings. So let's talk about the map. So phase 1 in your turn, you want to immediately go to your diplomacy and start figuring out what your total strategy is. So obviously this is Rome. We're in the center of the Mediterranean. The best part about our position is we're at the center of all trade. We connect multiple empires. We are an absolute melting pot. So your economic strategy should be geared towards that. Simple, right? So these insignias, here, there, and here, are all resources that we use in trade. So while we're figuring out more empires to get friendly with here, the more trade items we actually have to give them, the higher the likelihood their trade agreement will go. And why does this matter? Because with the trade agreement, that's the beginning of good relations. So you want to till the soil as early as possible so you don't have factions that are like negative 100 opinion of you, because you're just going to be dealing with war after war after war. So we want this to be a calculated assault. We want to divide and conquer, right? Pretty simple. So let's get to the diplomacy and see who's our friends and who's our foe. That way we know what to build and why. So right off the bat, we're in a 2-front war. Etruscan League, Epirus. This is a problem. We can't have a 2-front war. That has to be taken care of immediately. So we pick our weakest target by looking at the power faction here, the power line. Very obvious. Epirus, just like in history, is far more powerful. They're going to have pikes. They're going to have elephants. Etruscan Leagues are basically us with masks. So we got to knock them out. There can only be one. There can only be one. Very good. So Rome is going to be putting their military focus here first, their diplomatic focus on the resources. Great. So we don't want to be surrounded by enemies. So let's be smart. What's our total strategy here? Probably knock out here, head down to Empress and deal with this. So we want to basically get friendly with everywhere else. We're looking to not expand quite yet. This is where it gets tricky, because once you start building friends, you have to eliminate them and time it as well. So let's start over here. Adriari. Actually, these guys are yellow relations neutral. Let's see what we can get. No.
Will you not give our people a little gold? You have much, and our people do not wish to become the slaves.
Usually when you get one,
the gods will have me listen
you get
to you.
all.
Your offer is fair and honorable.
Okay, so we'll start there with the non-aggression pact. Now we're working up here.
Will you not give our
Will not
people a little
do.
gold?
We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
Greetings to you.
Moderate.
A token.
No, we
perhaps
don't
a
need them to
modest
join
gift of
war.
coin. Would have my
We don't need
people
them to
see
join
you
war.
in
We need a
new
trade
light.
agreement. But if I offer a payment, it might be too high. Yeah, because we have so much money, this is directly proportionate. Right? So the trick is if you have people who are like just on the cusp of sending you a trade agreement or a non-aggression pact, you want to spend that money and go back to them. It's like they're gold diggers. They can smell the gold when you walk into the negotiation room. So we're going to come back to them. Right now we're just picking off easy targets to try and close off any opportunity here for sneak attacks. So we're going to offer a trade here.
Listen to you.
How about a non?
I do not think
Really? Violent group. Violent group.
I am here to listen if you speak on. You would not sell much.
Okay. So we didn't get many. Honestly, that's just the difficulty. It is what it is. We're going to get back to them by the end of turn 1, not turn 2. So let's now move towards our domestic policy before we start moving military. So first thing off, administration in Rome. Look at your city. Isn't that amazing? The detail in this game. Love it. Love it. We're going to bring our spy to our first target here. Figure out what we're dealing with. Try to keep him on the roads because then you have more mobility. Okay. Pretty simple garrison here. Few units could take care of that. 2 Italian guards, some citizens, some slingers. So they have range superiority. So I either need to crash down on them with aggressive infantry or have some spare cavalry. Or match their slingers and knock them out. Okay. So domestic policy, what are we doing here? So we need to expand these immediately, right? These resources. So let's go to our Arminium here. Arminium. Get some salt. And Ascalon. Get some fish. And then Beneventum. To get some olive oil. So if you notice, the amount of gold we have, like before, is a lot. This is part of the changes in the game. It just makes everything more balanced and also makes it feel a little bit more like an empire, which I do appreciate. And then finally, the most important thing, obviously, we need an amphitheater because why not? Why not? We need it. We need it. The reason why we can get away with this is because the developers built a game where this provides you some supplies. So for a little extra cash, we're putting that down. Fantastic. Now let's make our army. Of all the generals to choose, this guy is apparently the OG. Just every time he's the best. Plus he has the coolest name on the planet. Decimus Sextilis Rufus. So we're going to have a little epic cinematic campaign. He's going to be expanding our northern parts of our empire. So we're going to raise the army and prep our recruitment. So how do we do that?
Ready for orders.
We want to plan out the majority, the core, and then remove the expensive units and fill out who would be round 2, so that in round 2 we take the most expensive in order to maximize our gold. Pretty simple, right? So this is how I do it. I always get a horse and I work down. That's basically my core legion right there. Bam. So how would we expand on that? Simple. 2 Roari, That's round 1. See what I did there? Pretty simple. We're going to go to our technology. I always go growth first. I rush aqueduct. It's just incredibly useful to have an extra building slot. You know, once you have that aqueduct, your growth is better. Everything just works better. So we're going to roll with that. I have a little extra money, so let's go over here and support this spot just in case I get assaulted. This provides a little bit more of a garrison, plus it increases my commerce, which that is industry. Excuse me. There we go. That is part of industry, but increases overall. Yeah, that's weird. I feel like they changed that. This used to give a 10% wealth, I thought, to industry, but it is what it is. We'll put that there. Alright, so this is turn 1. We've spent more money. Now let's go back to our diplomacy panel. See if we can make more friends.
Greetings. Speak plainly and
Very good. Nothing changed.
I am sure that your wares will find a home
Now watch this.
somewhere, but not
Directly
with us.
proportionate. We just saved like $8,000. Look at that.
You have spoken.
Saved so much money. So now we're starting to climb up our relationships
The
here.
gods will have me listen to you.
And that's
You
high.
have passed the day in
So now I
words
get to
without
ask for money.
merit.
That's low, so we'll bring it down. That's moderate. We're probably going to get a sweet spot at 54. Nope. Too
We
high.
need the glory of battle.
We'll renegotiate.
Let us stand with you against these darkling foes.
3,600. Thank you for the free money. Just made a net 2,600. I'm gonna try to make friends with these guys, as I just have a feeling they're itching
Be like
to.
a spear and
Oops, I asked for
Our
money, didn't I?
ancestors would be shamed if even one of your coins was accepted. They were proud, our ancestors.
Boom. Now we have a little trade, basically connecting this whole spot. So when I position armies, I'm not too worried about this side of my flank, right? I can cut down through here and take Greece, or I can come back up here and start wrapping myself around to eventually take out the Venetians, which, you know, I gotta get my Venice. But Syracuse, what can we do with you?
I cannot say for how long.
You're not at war
For
with
matters
anyone.
of state and a splendid
So we're gonna go.
Your
That's
merchants
low,
and
so
cheats,
we want a trade
swindlers,
agreement.
coiners,
I'm gonna invest in
ragamuffins,
this.
robbers, thieves, slavers,
Why? Because
crooks,
this means I can move
fornicators,
my.
goat molesters.
Jeez,
Have I missed anything?
chill, dude. I'm gonna move my army from up here to pincer move this part of Italia to take Magna Graecia. But man,
There will be no
they're
trade
getting
with such as you.
expensive.
Our
Alright,
people like
chill.
honesty and full measure when they purchase goods.
It's getting kind of high. It's getting kind of high. So now we're basically at the cost of a single military unit. It's too much. I'm too proud. Ooh, Massalia, we can't forget you. Cannot forget you.
Be
my
welcome
friend.
here and speak as you wish,
Moderate.
without fear of consequence or danger.
I'm gonna pay you a little bit. Accept it. Look at that.
Excellent.
Boom. Starting to look a little more friendly on the map, isn't it?
Be welcome here and speak as
Low. So we'll get that around round 2. Okay, so that's round 1. That's round 1. Make sure we didn't forget anything. Very good. Now you've dealt your initial blow for trade agreements. I think that's more important than your military exercise, in my opinion, because you want to get that early, so you're stacking, you're racking up some positive changes, and now you can move more freely in the single targets that you choose, as opposed to having to fight off swaths of armies from different nations. Soon, once we take probably Etruscan League and Liguria, we're going to release immediately a trade ship to come all the way down up to here to collect as many trade agreements up north as possible. And then as we have our war with Epirus, we're going to do the same down at the bottom of Knossos, all the way up through here, into the Black Sea and back around, and then back around for trade agreements. Everything for trade agreements. We won't leave any stone unturned. That's round 1, guys. Pretty simple. Round 1, you know the ethos, you know the intention, you know what we're here to do.
How I shall go.
Let's get a battle on here. So Rufus is on turn 1. We have some extra gold. I'm actually going to save some extra gold here. It'll be some economical. And end the turn. Make sure you don't start a ship at the bottom because you're not going to make it through this bridge here, Apollonia. You're not going to get past that without getting murked by Eperan ships. You're just not. So you got to take them out in order to open up trade options, or send a diplomat, or find a way to get a ship on the other side of the peninsula here. Okay, as you can see, we can't make it exactly through, so we have our second recruitment turn.
Rome needs good fighters.
So we already have 3. We get a second Hastati in support. Or 2. No, we only have room for 1. So let's get a Hastati, and we'll be infantry focused. We'll have some gorgeous shields.
We hunger for battle.
Getting ready for round 2. We are pretty good. Probably round 3 we'll reopen negotiations. Let's end turn. Emperor sending their diplomat up there is not a good sign. That probably means they're planning an invasion here shortly. So I got to start stacking up on the bottom, which is fine. It times up perfectly. We are a fully functional assault force about to attack Arentium, so no problem. I'm gonna change up the angle.
Commander,
That's right, Rufus. I'm gonna take 1 horse and move in for the kill.
laying siege to the settlement.
As you can see, it says we're outnumbered, so they'll probably sally out. I wonder, do I get any extra? No. We're gonna win it like this.
Before Rome.
See what kind of units they have. They have some hoplite elite units. That's what we got to take care of. But honestly, I'm more worried about these slingers just overpowering me. I have 2 slingers, 2 javies. It's important to have a defensive posture because I'm going Rari, and I'll explain why in the battlefield. They have a unique strategy. They're basically like Italian phalanx that can't move. It's like not like traditional manipular tactics, but it works. So let's go. Hopefully we get the city battle. This is your army. Look at the detail on these shields. I mean, seriously. How amazing are these shots? This is part of the reason why DEI is absolutely the best. There's just a whole treasure trove of cultural information. And these ranks. Well done. Where's our general? Where's Rufus? He normally isn't wearing a helmet, I believe.
General.
I think that's him right there. No, that's him for sure. Okay, let's figure out our setup. So first things first, put them straight into discipline formation. Now you know how they're gonna look. This is your defensive block, your defensive line. Everyone behind them, as far as I'm concerned,
Break formation.
is there in support.
We await your command.
We're gonna put our long ranged here to try to take this hill. To provide as much ranged, I'm assuming they're right here, right? So provide as much ranged as they can. Actually, do I want to do that? You know what I might do? I might put these guys here, actually, and do my short javelins there so I can bring my cavalry
Romans all.
right over here.
Anyone who breaks formation will be punished.
That makes sense. Now, moving them out and up. I mean, look at this detail, guys. I mean, that rock is a little bit of a magician, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so cinematic. That's freaking me out.
General!
We find them on the map. No, we have not found them. So we need to scout a little bit. They might be up here. They have some defenses set up, so they could be up here.
By your command! In service to
Gotta locate the enemy. Is that them? Yeah, got him. They're moving up. So let's get our guys in position. Get our guys in skirmish.
anyone who breaks formation will be punished.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start trying to chip away some of their range.
You command!
By moving your units far to the side, you're less likely to get a 2-on-2 and more likely to get a 1-on-1. It's a little trick. So while my units are setting up and my cavalry is directly hidden, I can either goat a cavalry charge, into which case I can take him out with all 3 of my cavalry, or simply just whittle down this guy right here. That was a weird path find. Did you see that? There you go. So now we have our skirmish phase beginning here. So why do I do this? This stops everything. I can't explain it. It doesn't make sense. And the most beautiful thing about it is they soak up all the ammunition.
By your command! For the gods!
Looks like the luring up is working. So now we're going to pull back our guys here.
Brave Romans!
Get ready for the primary engagement.
And the double! Advance and speed!
Letting our Rorari basically soak up as many of the shots as possible. They're the easiest to replace on the campaign map, that's why. You gotta remember, playing DEI, you have a population problem. So you have to manage your better units, which I think is just so much better in terms of, you know, strategy and such. Alright, we gotta take these guys out. Because it appears they want a skirmish phase. Fine, we'll do a skirmish phase. Gonna let our Rorari soak up as much of the damage as possible because they're quite literally placeholders. So if you notice, I did this formation right here so that these guys are in the front of the line when they came up. That draws all their fire. So now I have my cheapest units soaking up fire while my actual ranged units are pummeling those that are firing me in the first place. Let's get a double time speed. It's early in the game and I don't have a great general. That's the reason why your guy doesn't run. It's the game's representation of, hey, you need a better general to get that done, kind of thing. So now they're pushing back. Here come the cavalry. We're gonna move you that way so that you're a little closer. We're gonna pull you back. We're gonna pull you back. Looks like the EA got smart, decided against that. So we're continuing as planned. That's not a very good angle because these are slingers. You want to get them into position on the hill where they actually have pretty good accuracy. They're not doing that bad though, honestly. was a key part of the war, right? Skirmish phase. Look at this guy's just absolutely getting pummeled with javelins. Oh, devastating. Looks like, yep, they're about to come in. They're about to push up. This is the big moment. Nope, 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 nope. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got ammunition? Is that why? Almost, almost.
Sons of Mars! Quick march!
We want to pepper these guys as much as we can. We're going to prepare a cavalry here for a flank charge. Overall, getting our units ready for the primary engagement. Rory looking a little beat up, not too bad. Their large shields have been deflecting the majority of these throws, but their armor is probably so weak. Yeah, they're starting to stagger. That's okay. There we go. Javelins over the Rory. Here comes the initial charges. Time to protect the sides. Okay, we have good cohesion. Move you to some side flanks. Their elite units haven't come in quite yet. We'll bring these guys in to clean up the citizens and get ready for a crash. Ooh, they're sending their elite directly into my middle. So they're trying to push through the main block of Roari. So let's keep an eye on. This is our center unit here. Let's see how he does. 283. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so their citizens are down. We're going to set up a screen here. Ooh, they pulled out their cavalry smart because they know that I'm coming. We're going to crash on our left flank directly into these units here. This guy seems to be in the most trouble. So far, no units of ours are losing decisively, especially our Rory. They're holding firm. Holding firm. Okay, we're going to set this up. General's going to go into the backdrop. These Lancers are about to crash in here. You know what? We're going to wedge formation. We're going to hold. We're going to hold. We're going to hold. We're going to wedge. Can't wedge with them. Damn. It's okay. We'll wedge with these guys. We'll wedge right through here. And make sure my general's assaulting their ranged units. These ranged units will come here and support. We'll get ready for the assault. Let's crash in. This should disrupt the battle line. And a follow-up support unit. We still have combat even. We are succeeding here on our left flank, which is great news. The general's right there, so I'm a little cautious about that. But my general's starting to take hits, so we're going to pull back. We're going to pull back. And while we take care of their main force, we're just going to use our cheap units to soak up as much of the slinger fire as possible. Time to pull out our shock cav. How are we doing here? We might have to plug this hole right here. We have spare units, so let's put our Triari right here. Gonna come in for a side flank. Believe it or not, these units here have a pretty good charge. They really do. So, you know, they're not a total waste of space, is my point. Another charge into the back. My units are starting to get tired, so they're not that effective on the charge. We're going to loop around here to have a 2v1 situation here against their slingers. That way I can protect my general, who's lost very few people. The enemy right flank, my left flank, is succeeding. Gonna move our Hastati around here to try to pincer move their cavalry. Good, my cavalry's now free. They're on the back foot. Plan is absolutely working. We're collapsing. Let's bring it in, get a little morale boost. That'll devastate their morale. Let's go, get in the line, get in the line. Get into formation. Or Sean Bean said, get the men back into line. We're going to extend our formation here to wrap around the back of the enemy cavalry there. That's the most effective way. Italian spearmen's crashing down. We'll peel them off and set up our cavalry here for another side strike. We're going to click on this unit here, the Italian citizens, so that they wrap around the back and make sure that these horsemen go nowhere. Look at that. Overall, the plan is working. We have our wedge formation. Look at that. Immediately flee. How they got away, I will never know. I will never know. Wow. They threaded the needle on that so well. I honestly, I got to give that to them. Try to cut off this little group of soldiers there. Look at this battle line, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is Roman efficiency right here. Time to crash in, peel off, prepare for support. It's an even combat situation. We don't want even, we want in our favor. So we're gonna bring down, oop, they're retreating. We'll pull back our cavalry to keep a unit cohesion. Damn, get him out of there, get him out of there. That's citizens, they might be able to take him. In fact, you know what, why don't I just take him out? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the fighting here. So any mobile units not in disciplined formation are the ones pushing up. This is my core problem right here. I got to get in behind right here. So once this breaks, we're going to fill pretty easily. Do I have any shots left on these guys? No, they're done. They're done. So they're just going to be there to basically hold off any enemy. I'm gonna set up my two Hastati to crash in here while I clean up the remainder. I think there's some spike traps, so I want to make sure my cavalry doesn't run over that, which is probably why they're luring me there in the first place, to be honest. Who's less tired? Very tired, active. Sending in my Hastati to fill and flank the backs. I'm gonna push in my Triari to pin them down while my Hastati basically take out any of their flanks. You need to be dead. You need to be dead. %60 strength, not good enough. They're at 90. These are the guys. How's the morale on this? We don't want to break our Rorari because then our cohesion's bad, so we're going to plug in the back here. Now's your chance. Now's your chance. We gotta take out their cav. We're gonna pull back the study and set them up right here on this ridge. As you can see, enemy are starting to burst through. I don't like that. The moment the unit gets behind you, that's when your morale really, really crashes. So we gotta be conscious. Battle line spilling. That should disorient them enough. I'm hoping they get in right here. That's what I was aiming for. Bring my cavalry back. And now we get to watch the show. Whew. Absolutely devastating spear right there. Look at the banners. I love it. Love it. Look at their swords and shields. The detail in the units in this game is just insane. And we broke them. What a fantastic battle. No one escapes. Let's bring it home. Can you imagine being in that situation? Just how absolutely awful that would be. So now we're clearing house. That way we can just seamlessly roll in, take their city. We have eliminated our masked enemy, the Etruscans. Now we occupy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 1. We are about to move on into our larger ambitions here, pushing Rufus even further north to battle out some pretty important barbarian cities. We need to get that under Roman cultural rule as fast as possible. Please leave a comment about what your favorite part of ancient Rome is. Please leave a like. Anything you can do to support this, I appreciate it. I'm not doing this for any monetary reason. I just geek out with Rome. Full stop. So, thanks so much for watching.